Joe, I really appreciate your experience, having been to a number of these general conferences. I'm trying to learn more about fair representation. Enlighten me.
Fair representation has been a vital topic as we've sought to try to bring renewal to the United Methodist Church. We've been declining since 1968. Some of the jurisdictions have lost 40% of their members, and just since 1978. While we in the Southeast have remained flat, and while we've grown here in North Georgia, many other areas have had significant decline. And when we try to bring the church to a point of growth, then you have to look at, well, who's managing this? You're a businessman. You know that if you have a problem in your organization, you're going to evaluate what the problem is, what's causing the decline. You're going to do things, and it's not going to take you 40 years to figure out the problem and turn it around. You'd be out of business by
Exactly.
it. And yet here in the church, we've struggled with this for 40 years, and we don't seem to have the right answer. So we have to ask the question, who's in authority and who's being held accountable? One of the things we've discovered is that there are locked-in geographical representation issues. Rather than having proportionality among membership, which would allocate more votes, more strength, more guidance to the growing areas of the church, such as Africa, that has grown by 735%. And we're stuck with a series of allocations geographically. There are 5 jurisdictions in the United States, and on many committees, you find that there are 20% from the western jurisdiction, 20% from the northeast, 20% from the north central, 20% from the southeastern, and 20% from the south central. So 5 jurisdictions, 20% each, and they have just maintained that kind of representation over the years.
A secular analogy, that's like the old county unit system here in Georgia.
Exactly. Keep the power away from the people,
right,
and keep it in the hands of those who've had it for a long time. Bringing change into that system has been a constant struggle. We've made significant inroads there. We've got a long way to go. I'll give you an example of a recent proposed change that just illustrates how this is ingrained. A great motion is coming from General Board of Global Missions to reduce the size of their board from 90 members down to 30.
Awesome.
That's great. We want to support that. But now we have to look at how they're going to distribute those 30 members. They want 9 members to be from outside the United States, the Central Conferences they're called. Okay, the traditional way that they would do that is they would have 3 from Africa, 3 from the Philippines, and 3 from Europe. Well, does that sound right? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Africa, let me just give you some numbers here. Africa has 4,200,000 members. Europe has 64,000. Get this, 4 million Africa, 64,000 Europe. Any kind of equal representation between the geographical areas puts a lot more power to Africa, to Europe, and denies it to the growing regions of the church. Europe has been declining in membership, just as has the United States. And yet we just have to be alert when they bring these proposals forward to see how they intend that the leadership is selected and how it's distributed throughout the church.